Tyler, I was going to go try to find an LSU shirt to wear for this show, but I said, no, you know what? To hell with it, because I've been spending so much time looking for my receipt because I'm about ready to return this season. Welcome to the South End Zone. Let's get it.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Our intent was to come eat and be hungry.
We're taking receipts, and we'll see you at the national championship.
We better see you at the national championship. Otherwise, your ass is gone. I get ready. The seats are on fire. We're seeing coaches drop left and right, and Brian Kelly. It stays no man. So get ready, because you've got to basically run the table now. I think maybe LSU has they could possibly lose one game out of Texas A&M, Alabama, and Oklahoma. I don't know which one it would be. The circumstances would dictate it. You would need some help, a bunch of other stuff. But realistically, like, if you want to make sure that you aren't South Carolina and Alabama and Miami last year all over again this year in the playoff when the chips fall, you better take care of business and run the table the rest of the way. And it does not look good, because LSU looks disgusting. I don't even want to talk about it. I need a minute. I was going to talk about that game, but I don't want to do it. You guys actually took care of business, so why don't we let you start it off, Tyler?
Absolutely. And usually how this goes is I, give like a full drive breakdown. And well, let me tell you something. There was not a non-scoring play or drive until 12:37 left in the fourth quarter. Every single drive for both teams up until 12:37 left in the fourth quarter ended in points. So I'm not going to say, we did this and they did that and they did this and they did that. Bottom line, this was bar none, Mike, and I'm getting you hear this, Chad?
You were saying it all day Saturday. So
this was Mike Bobo's best called game of the entire season. Glenn Schumann, defensive coordinator, buddy, if you don't get, I don't understand why.
Look, man, you got to give Trinidad Chambliss some respect.
Oh, he is
and Lane Kiffin, and like the game plan.
Yes, they're good. Ole Miss is good. If they would have beat us, they would have earned it. They're good, but our routine nowadays. I don't know if it's like our defensive philosophy. Like when we're in man, we literally gave up a touchdown this way yesterday, where we give like 6 yards of cushion, and then we just whiff on the tackle, and it literally led like a 50-yard touchdown. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I understand that
one was ugly. That one was
very
ugly
because there was just no help up top. And I do understand the philosophy that it's easier to run forwards than run backwards. Like I do understand that, but like at the same time, like we need to make the fucking tackle. Holy shit. And if we realize that we can't, maybe we should just let our guys jam them up front and then give ourselves help. Like it just, that shit was frustrating. But for our offense to stay in there and to take the hits on defense and to keep moving and keep pressing and keep matching the points on the board, and for Gunner to stay in there and to just make plays when called upon time after time after time. And he has done that pretty much this entire season. Like he has always been able to make plays for us. And I said that and we'll get into it. I know I said that the essentially the Carson Beck Gunner Stockton flip was a win-win, maybe not anymore. At least we're still winning when it comes to having Gunner Stockton as our quarterback. But like I said, we're scoring plays up until 12:37 left in the fourth, and then the defense showed up with almost no time left to spare. Right. We forced 2 consecutive 3-and-outs, and then a turnover on downs. Ole Miss only possessed the ball for a total of 114 seconds in the fourth quarter. Like we ate them alive in the fourth quarter, and it was. Yeah. You know how I was talking, Chad, when we recorded the preview? I'm like, I want a win we can hang our fucking hat on. Mm-hmm. And so people don't have to keep asking questions about are they even good?
Right.
We showed up in Athens.
Yep.
and we came and we won. And Lane Kiffin's a good coach. Ole Miss is a great team. Trinidad Chávez is a very, 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 very talented quarterback. But when push came to shove, we stood the fuck up and got this game taken care of. And I could not be more happy. There was times where I was so fucking angry because we would finally take the lead back and then just not be able to stop a goddamn nosebleed on defense.
Mm-hmm.
But when it mattered, we stood up. And for that, I give the boys props. They striped it out in Athens. It actually looks pretty cool. Gunner, 26 for 31, 289, 4 touchdowns through the air, 59 yards and a touchdown on the ground. And in the second half alone, he was 12 for 12, 135, and 3 touchdowns. And you want to know one of the biggest reasons why
he had a better week than Carson Beck, but we'll get into that later.
we will. One of the reasons I think that this offense is very successful is that we started using the tight ends. Lawson Lucky, second-year tight end, 5 catches, 43 yards, and a hat trick of touchdown catches. Yes, sir. Man. Felt so good. And then as far as our running backs, 221 total on the ground among all of them. So it was really just like I've never seen our offense be this explosive under Mike Bobo in like a long time. But it just was not the same bullshit play calling he was doing beginning of the season. He's really opened up the playbook. And unfortunately, we're going to be moving on the rest of the season without Colby Young, who looked to have broken his foot or his leg. And he posted on social media, a video of him getting carted off the field, essentially 8 out. It's been real. So I think he's going to be done for the year. We have plenty of guys to fill in for that role, but he is absolutely going to be a big missing piece. But, front to back, this is undeniably our best win of the entire season. And shout out to Mike Bobo for not making me hate you and making me realize maybe why they kept you around the program all of the years. And even when he would go away, we would still hire him back as an OC, just like he would go and try to coach somewhere, hire him back, go try to coach somewhere, hire him back. His son is obviously on the team, and that plays a big part. He's one of our starting offensive linemen. So all in all, great win for the boys and a well-deserved bye week before we play a Billy Napier-less Florida in 2 weeks. But for now, we take rest, and I'm glad that we're not going into the bye week with an L. And now I'm just happy that we got to shake up the SEC a little bit with that win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To really make the playoff picture more murky at the top for all of us. So I'm glad we can participate in that.
And that's the thing is it's so funny. It's there's no dominant team in the SEC. It's harder. There's more teams that are actually capable of winning the SEC. There's 3, maybe 2 in other conferences. Yeah. Year in, year out, there's 2, maybe 3 teams in any conference other than the SEC. In the SEC, every year there's 7.
Mm-hmm.
And say what you want to say about Auburn and about Florida and about South Carolina. Yeah, they fell on their faces. But the thing is, somebody has to, when you have 10 teams,
somebody has to lose. Somebody's going to have to lose the games
because you play each other.
Yeah, somebody has to lose the games.
Auburn and Missouri can't both win that game this weekend. One of them had to lose it. So, miss me with all that.
The records are eventually going to shake out one way.
And what doesn't happen is you don't have a team like Cal losing 34-0 to San Diego State, beating one of your teams that's in the top half of your conference. That's anyway. So, it's the SEC picture is getting goofy, murky, whatever you want to call it. And wildly enough, somebody said that the SEC championship and playing clean the rest of the season is what needs to happen to make that happen, because he's still talking about it like it's a thing. And okay, I wish you the best, Mr. Brian Kelly, but this happened. I'm just going to go through a few things because what did we talk about, Tyler? We talked about what Brian Kelly said was the key to winning this game. It was contain Diego Pavia. Don't let him get outside the pocket. Don't let him beat you with his legs. Make him beat you throwing the ball. And so what do? They come after him on a handful of plays. It's only that handful where They get out of their lanes, their rush lanes. Guy gets too far upfield. On one play, we had a corner blitz. The corner just sprints dead fast as he can right at Diego Pavia's lead shoulder. So what does he do? As he sees him coming, spin to the upside of the field, and DB's gone. It's P.J. Woodland was coming on a blitz. These are the things you cannot do when you know you have one of these quarterbacks. The way that you have to rush them is you have to contain them, keep them inside the pocket, keep them looking with their eyes at you and at the rush. Keep that in front of them, and then force them to choose a direction. And then once they choose a direction, then you can go.
Yeah.
But when you come at them full speed,
and they can see
and they
you
have
the
their
whole
feet
way.
set, they can spin away. It's not that hard to take one half step or dodge a little bit, step up, step back, spin away, and you're gone. Like you are full speed sprinting in the wrong direction at that point. And it happened multiple times. But let's get into what happens.
And that's the thing, too. It's like you let Pavia do that, and then their run game busts wide open because then you're honoring Pavia's feet the whole time and his ability to throw the ball, and then you also have to honor their stable of running backs and Cedric Alexander.
Right, and they were good. They had some pop running plays, but really, like if you look at it, it's Diego Pavia 17 for 86 and 2 touchdowns that killed us. He did have 1 sack in the game. We'll get into that in a minute. But so how did this game go down? LSU gets the opening kickoff and start marching down the field. I'm watching the game with my dad, and we're talking about how like this is great. This is what you have to do. Like just keep chewing up clock. It was 4.5 minutes into the drive, and it's like, and we both said it. We're like, and you got to score a touchdown. Can't get a field goal. What do we do? 1st and 10 from the Vanderbilt 28, sack. So now it's 2nd and 13. It was only a 3-yard sack, but still, it's a sack. You take a sack. Now it's 2nd and 13 because we refuse to run the ball consistently. And I don't have a problem with throwing the ball on 1st down, but it's just when you run long developing plays and you're in the or near the red zone, you're asking for it because the team is looking to find a way to push you out of field goal range or at least make it harder for you to convert so that you can't score a touchdown in the red zone. So we end up having to kick a field goal. We make it. We're up 3-0. Then we let Pavia escape the pocket. He gets right down to the goal line, gets stopped right short of the goal line. They score a few plays later. They're up 7-3. Then LSU actually makes a good march down the field. They run the ball with Harlan Berry a few times in a row, like 3 times in a row, and he's just chunking them. And then that's when Nussmeier gets rushed up the middle and like throws off his back foot and hits Trey'Dez Green cutting across the middle, goes to the corner pylon and scores the touchdown. That dude is a monster, a freak, and I just hope that they can – I hope that his performances can be meaningful to where they're played in meaningful games where he gets to play in playoffs before his career at LSU is over, because it's such a talent, such a monster advantage to waste if this is what we're going to do, where we're going to have this guy go balls out and then we're going to lose to a team like Vanderbilt on the road. No disrespect to Vanderbilt, but this program does not have the pedigree of some of the other programs. And I shout out to Clark Lee and Diego Pavia for turning this into what it is now, which is a team that's sitting there at 6-1, 10th in the country, higher than they've ever been ranked, I think, at least in the last 75 years.
Yeah, seriously.
They're legitimately on a path to where they could be playing in the playoff. And before you start snickering and laughing at it, let's look at their path, okay?
No, listen, I'm all for
Missouri at home this week. They've got Missouri at home this week. They go to Texas. Then they've got Auburn at home, Kentucky at home, and they go to Neyland Stadium.
They could win 2.
That is doable
at minimum. They could win 3 of those 4 at minimum.
That is very doable. It's possible they could go undefeated and be 10-1. Like I know it's insane, but it's possible. They could be 11-1, and like
they could be in Atlanta
playing for the SEC championship. They could be playing for the SEC championship. That's how crazy this is.
Vanderbilt in Atlanta. Oh my God.
Anyway, so then Pavia gets 7 yards on 3rd and 6. And then they go for it on 4th and goal and get a touchdown, like just inching the ball over the line, take a 14-10 lead. We miss a 52-yard field goal. We get the 4th and 8 sack on Diego Pavia. They go for it around midfield right before half. And so we sack Diego Pavia for on 4th and 8 at the Vanderbilt 36-yard line. We turned that into a 42-yard field goal with 45 seconds left. We had time to run the clock all the way down and get a touchdown. But instead, because of, again, it's going to be a common theme, Joe Sloan needs to go. LSU's offensive coordinator is not an offensive coordinator. He was a quarterback's coach. Shout out to him for what he did with Jaden Daniels and some of the other things that he's done throughout his career over at Louisiana Tech and other places. Like, good quarterback guru type guy, but offensive coordinator, play caller, he is not. It is incredibly frustrating to watch other teams put what I think is a really, really good defense in a blender with like jet motion, circle motion, orbit motion, just like all these different things that they're doing that is constantly keeping us on our heels and making guys who love to play downhill with snot coming out of their nose, just glaring at you and making them second guess every step because there's so much eye candy. So it's like Gus Malzahn-ish, where
it is exactly
you really
what it
have
is.
you have to be super disciplined. And also, like, sometimes being super disciplined still isn't enough because sometimes that dude actually has the ball.
Yeah, right.
and so it's very difficult. And we sit here with all this talent, and we are literally running like 7-step drop. Let's see if we can have a guy get open and throw it deep to him and not get sacked and not throw a pick. So we kick the field goal. So it's like, great, we got a sack. We stopped them. They still didn't punt, but we sacked them on 4th and 8. We get the ball back at their 36. Time for us to go punch it in and score a touchdown. That shows how stupid they were for going for it with a minute left in the half in their own territory. Gotcha. No, what do? In 15 seconds, we're kicking a field goal, and they get the ball back with 45 seconds left, march the length of the field, and kick a field goal to nullify it. So it's like nothing happened, and the half ends 17-13. They get a long drive to start the second half. LSU had, at that point, had given up 10 points combined to Power 4 schools. Vanderbilt just took a hot dump on that and said, we're going to march right down the field and shove it down your throat. 1-yard touchdown pass to Stowers in the corner of the end zone. Way too easy. LSU gets the ball back, has a horrible missed call on a pass interference on Berrien Brown where he gets his jersey pulled and the guy's staring right at it and doesn't call it. The next play is a dump off to Xavier Thomas that he takes 62 yards to the house. So we go for 2, which I thought was really stupid at the time. We got it. I will still, because I'm a man of principle, I will still stand on it's stupid to go for 2 that early in a game, especially when you're trading scores with somebody. Going for 2 and not getting it right there is worse than just kicking the PAT and living to fight another day and see where the score is late in the game. And then that's when you take your shot at either you go for 2 or you realize you need 2 scores or whatever it is. But what they did at that point was they put themselves in a position where if they don't get that 2, they're down 5. Now you put yourself in a real pickle. Whereas being down 4, a field goal only makes it a 7-point game. A field goal makes it to where you have to go for 2 next time if you don't get it. So now you've made yourself go for 2 twice. Anyway, we have another after that touchdown. We cut it to 3. All right, here we go. No, we do the same thing where the gap integrity was terrible, and we pass rush lanes. Like Pyburn got upfield a little bit, but he was okay because he was kind of pushing back to the inside. But Patrick Payton was twisting around and was late coming towards the middle. And so the safety or the corner blitz from PJ Woodland, he kind of like ran into Pyburn. And so he was deflected by his own man. And then Pavia runs underneath it and 21 yards, he's in the end zone. And he does the Heisman pose. And you know at that point the writing's on the wall. Caden Durham, this is where you knew for sure This is why Joe Sloan has to go. This is so horrible, unbelievably pathetic. A 51-yard bust run right up the middle from Caden Durham gets tackled at the 2-yard line. Yeah, okay, it'd be great if he had a little bit more jet, could have gotten into the end zone. But the reality is you're on the doorstep. You've got to get a touchdown. What do? After that play, we spend our entire, play clock shuffling people on and off the field. We have 10 people on the field. We have to call a timeout. Do you want to know what we did when we came out of that timeout, Tyler? 1st and goal from the 2. What did we do coming out of the timeout? False start. False start from one of our blocking tight ends. So now, instead of 1st and goal from the 2, it's 1st and goal from the 7. What do? We kick a field goal. So you can see where this is going. It's 31-24. We force our first punt of the game. You talked about the Georgia Ole Miss game and how there were scoring possessions, like every possession until 12 something left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
that's pretty much how it was for us. It was the 4th down sack of Pavia, and all scoring from them before this point, where we actually finally force a punt. And what do we do coming out of that change of possession? First play, we drop back, 7-step drop, take a 10-yard sack. 2nd and 10, or 2nd and 20. Let's go. Then a holding penalty. By the time it's all said and done, it's like 4th and 26 or 22 or something like that. So now we have to punt. So 3 and out, we punt. We force another punt and go 3 and out again. But there's 3 minutes and 24 seconds left. It's 4th and 8. At this point, you have got to see the writing on the wall and realize that if you give the ball back to Vanderbilt, you are probably not getting it back. But what do? We punt the ball anyway. Do we ever see the ball again, Tyler?
No.
No, we do not. Diego Pavia runs the ball down to the 1-yard line, slides, and takes a knee, and that's ball game. We lose 31-24, and now the season is on the brink. And when we are sitting here clowning Alabama for losing to Vanderbilt last year, although it did hit a little different because Vanderbilt was not what they have become now, where like they are a legit. I will give Alabama this. I don't think they knew what was coming. When they got
stuck up on.
They got stuck up on. We did not get stuck up on. We just went and crapped the bed. So it is what it is. I mean, we're at a point now where Joe Sloan has got to go as offensive coordinator. He is not an offensive coordinator, not a play caller. It's the between the lack of commitment to the running game, the lack of creativity in giving us opportunities and like ways to push a team to step outside of their comfort zone defensively. It is so easy to game plan LSU offensively. Like it's a joke, and I'm tired of it. And I was not a huge fan of the Brian Kelly hire when he came over, going to one of the most prestigious universities, in terms of college football pedigree in the history of the sport. Possibly the most, no shade to Alabama, but like when people think of college football, they like top of the list is Notre Dame for a lot of people.
Right.
In terms of like the prestige.
Historically, like all time. Absolutely.
Right.
Like, they literally made movies about them, man. Like you don't get better.
He went there and went like an average of 9-4. And it's kind of the same as what we're getting here. And I was not a huge fan of it at the time, but I've been defending him and trying to I've been trying really hard to squint and see the vision. Was really excited about, a 5th-year senior quarterback coming back and all the money they spent on the defense. And that money was well spent. The defense has been great. This game notwithstanding, it's kind of like you guys have dudes on defense. You guys have a good defense. Giving up what you gave up to Ole Miss is not because you don't have a good defense or can't play defense. It's just sometimes you run into some stuff, and it's just there's teams out there that have. But the reality of the matter is, when you have a coach who has shown himself to be as, I don't want to say inept, but as challenged when it comes to finding a way to make a game like this, the way that Nick Saban would, to make a game like this just go away. That's what LSU needs or needed, and that's what they thought. I think they were hiring when they hired a guy who many people thought perhaps the reason why he struggled at Notre Dame, and he didn't struggle. I mean, dude still had some undefeated
it was like
seasons.
The restraints you have from recruiting.
It was all the recruiting and money restraints and the academic standards.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
But we're at a point now where the bloom is off the rose, and LSU's got to figure out what they're going to do, because this is not pretty. And we're, LSU fans are fed up with it. We're fed up with watching us. This team should be undefeated right now. And you would still you'd have some outs. Now where we are is we got Deuce 7 off suit, and we are hoping that we hit trip 7s because ain't nothing else helping us.
Well, listen, man, I think a lot of this is credit to Vanderbilt, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Pavi is very good. Clark Lee's building something great there. And I just think, I don't know, it's like you said, it's like the play calling and the decision making when you guys are like in a tight one that just like screw you time and time
We
again.
can't score in the red zone.
No, it's just
we can't run the ball.
It's just like the execution isn't there when it truly matters for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as Brian Kelly, for me personally, like if he goes, it's not gonna hurt my feelings. That's for sure.
Yeah,
it's just tough because you bring a guy in like that who has had so many guys play in the NFL from his program at Notre Dame, and has at least sniffed playing in a national championship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the BCS era, and he, like we said, he's such a great recruiter. He's such a great recruiter, despite the academic standards that are required for bringing kids in at Notre Dame. You can't just recruit anybody in the country. We always knew this. And so you go to a place like LSU with the resources and the ability to get whoever you want, whenever you want. And this is kind of the result he's giving you. And you've given him time. Like, you didn't fire him right away, like some other programs do to the coaches. You gave him a couple recruiting cycles, and this is what he's thrown out at you. Now it's time to start asking the real questions. So –
yeah, and all due respect to Vanderbilt, but like shout outs to Clark Lee and Diego Pavia are not going to explain away Brian Kelly's failure.
It's a larger this is a small piece in a larger puzzle for Brian Kelly at LSU, especially like you said, like he keeps turning over coordinators and getting rid of guys who made LSU great. And I'm pretty sure, I know T-Bob Hebert is a big fan of I think it was the strength coach that
Tommy
had.
Moffitt. Tommy
Yes,
Moffitt
who's now A&M, right?
A&M. Yep.
Yeah, and Hebert's like, that's what changed everything.
He fired Corey Raymond and
exactly.
sent him away and brought Kevin Peoples in and brought Matt House in, and we saw how bad our defense was for a couple of years. He brought Blake Baker in to fix that, and he has. And they went and got some talent and everything too. And Corey Raymond was brought back, and he's starting to get things going again. Brought Frank Wilson back as a recruiting coordinator, but it's those missteps early on. And what you and I were talking about on the phone is when you hire someone who the thing that you're looking for is like the administrative oversight, and that's the things where you feel like it's fallen through the cracks.
Yeah, running
this is not a talent problem. This is not a talent problem and an upside problem. This is the problem that we have is like we're taking the talent that we have and grossly mismanaging its potential with poor coaching. And
that's a program killer.
Coordinator levels, right?
That's a program
and that's what
killer.
He's supposed to. That's
what got James Franklin fired. That's quite literally what got James Franklin fired. Yeah. It was, getting talent and having talent available, and then, like you said, mismanaging and poor execution with said talent, and that's literally what got him fired. So we'll see what has yet to come for y'all. I believe in y'all. We always at the South End Zone believe in an LSU UGA meeting in Atlanta. But if we're being honest, I'd rather miss Atlanta. At this point. We'll see. We fell ass backwards into Atlanta last year, but we'll see. There's a bunch of other games this past weekend, Mr. Chad. Starting with Friday night, in which that's my Carson Beck, ladies and gentlemen. No touchdowns, 4 picks, and they almost had a chance to win the game multiple times, and they still lost because he threw another pick. That's my Carson Beck. No offense, I've been kind of waiting to talk shit, but I couldn't because he was playing too well. And getting not bailed out, but he has such two great receivers to throw to,
Right.
And this is a lot of what we saw when he was the quarterback at UGA, of just like all of a sudden, just like he just like turns and he just doesn't see defenders. It just doesn't happen. And what's crazy is, despite the multiple picks, they still had a chance to win the game. He actually threw 5, but it got wiped away because of a wacky, shouldn't have been called roughing the passer call.
Mm-hmm.
And then it all started because I think it was a lot of it. I swear to God, you punch Carson Beck in the mouth and his team in the mouth, he doesn't know how to respond. Like, Louisville went up 14-0 early, and they're like, oh shit, gotta fucking do whatever we can. And it just didn't come to fruition. Isaac Brown is a dog, and now I remember him from when they played JMU. He ripped this 70-yard back-breaking run to ice it, and they decided to go for a fake field goal to open the game. And I think they get a first down out of it, and then converted the touchdown after the fact. And then they go up again.
I think Brown had that one critical fumble though.
Yes, but then again, you give it right back to him with the pick.
Oh yeah. I know, but I'm just saying. But he didn't see the field anymore after that.
No, he did not. He did not. But the fact that Miami, it was crazy. It was a bunch of garbage. Yeah. And they worked their way back into the game. Causing that the turnover and causing Louisville to punt, working their way back into the game, and then, they did score after the fumble, and then they forced Louisville to punt back to them, and they threw the pick anyway.
Right.
That's what it was. So 4 picks, 0 touchdowns, and now, oh my God, that was horrible. And now, the top of the ACC is Georgia Tech, Virginia, and SMU are all the undefeated teams left in conference.
What the hell? Shout out to SMU for beating Clemson because couldn't get any worse for Dabo Swinney. If we really think about it, imagine a world where Dabo Swinney, Brian Kelly, and James Franklin are all unemployed and looking for work. Who would have thought that coming into this season?
Dog, yeah. When
3 of the top 10.
Yeah, both James Franklin and Dabo Swinney were odds-on favorites to potentially be featured in the national championship.
Yes,
some of the top Jesus, that's just terrible, bro.
And so let's talk about the other thing with Miami too, because and Mario Cristobal is another one of those guys who just finds a way to do this every year.
Yeah, he has everything in the palm of his hand and just throws it away.
I know Akeem Mesidor got hurt in that game.
Ruben Bain did not show up.
So,
they did a good job scheming against. They just they went away from him at all times.
Yeah.
They make sometimes when you have a guy like that, you just have to make him invisible. You have to go anywhere but his way, and take care of him at all times, and that's what you do, and that's how you beat a team like that. But you're right.
And this is Louisville. Let's give a shout out to Louisville and Jake Fromm. This is his thing that he just does. This what is he like? He has 4 or 5 top 5 wins.
No, yeah, I think he has 4 top 5 wins. As the coach.
Did you see the thing they showed with him from the XFL? They're
no,
you were hurt last week. Whatever. How do you feel about playing? He's like, well, first I'm going to ask you to ask yourself.
Oh, wait, is that the same dude?
Yes.
No, it's not. The guy from the XFL. It's my heart.
He's like, first is, do I have a pulse?
Yeah,
second is there a football game? Yes.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Awesome. That's so awesome.
That's so electric. I did not know that.
He look, man, I'm going to start it right now. Let's go. Let's get I want him. Can we just have him just take over right now? We need a big game winner to come down to Baton Rouge. Let's go. Let's get it.
Hell yeah.
I don't care that he's 4-4 in top 5 matchup or against top 5 teams. Like that's better than a lot of people against
Is
top
there
5
or
teams.
is there not a football game tonight?
Is there not a football game tonight? Do I or do I not have a pulse? Is there not a football game tonight? Let's go play some football. It's like, oh my god. Oh shoot.
That's so funny.
So Louisville gets it done, but this is not foreign territory for Louisville. They played, if you remember, they played Florida State a few years back for the ACC championship. They've done this several times, and Florida State actually beat them. It was like 16-0
way back when.
Without Jordan Travis, and they still didn't make the playoff because the committee was just like, we don't care. We don't care. We're going to let Alabama in. But a team that is starting to kind of like find itself in the SEC, a team that is fallen from grace. I don't know, is Shane Bieber on the hot seat? I doubt it. But Oklahoma goes into Williams-Brice Stadium, and they just kind of take it to South Carolina. And the way that they did it was kind of similar to what LSU did with Lenore Sellers. They sacked him 6 times for 53 yards. South Carolina had 34 rushes for 54 yards combined. Now, if you take away all those negative rushing yards that count towards your team rushing stats, they actually rushed 28 times for 103, 107 yards, whatever it is. But that just shows you, like, when we're talking about college football rushing stats, that's how behind the chains they were all night. Mateer looked okay, nothing great, but enough to get the job done. And Oklahoma did run the ball 40 times for 171 yards and 2 touchdowns to take care of business in Columbia. And so the thing is, what I see out of this is like Oklahoma has reestablished themselves as like they're not what you saw out of them last week in Arlington was more of in Austin was more of an aberration. Your true Brett Venables defense showed up here.
Yep.
I think South Carolina probably had 150, 200 yards of total offense. So this is Oklahoma defense, Brett Venables defense at its finest, and John Mateer kind of starting to find his way again. So Oklahoma gets it done and then some on the road, and they are right back in the thick of it because they're another one of those teams that could be in Atlanta come December.
Yes, sir. I did not get to catch this game. I mean, full transparency, but it's nice. Get back on track game for them. And I think a lot of it was just like them just not like Mateer, just like they just were not ready to play Texas when it came down to it. And I think this is a good.
I don't know how you get ready sitting out for 3 weeks.
Right. It's a good get right spot for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good to see this is the Brett Venables defense as something we've been hearing about since he became the head coach. So it's actually nice to see that, show up when they needed to. And it's just unfortunate for, hey, Lenore Sellers was in fact a pump the brakes candidate. Just saying, everybody.
Yeah. And I will say this too about Brett Venables. Is it possible, we had the whole Tom Brady, Bill Belichick argument, and it looks like maybe it was more Brady than Belichick, right? Maybe it's more Venables than it was Dabo Sweeney in Clemson, because without Brett Venables, 0 national championships. With him, 2, and another couple of appearances in national championships. So 4 appearances, 2 natties. And then now without him, 0 again.
People are asking.
And Oklahoma may be on their way to their first appearance in at least possibly in the playoffs. So
it's always possible with the way these SEC records are shaken out. Oh my God.
Yeah, for real.
It's very much possible.
So the team that we have coming into Baton Rouge this week, I told you I put them on upset watch. And Taylor Green gave them everything he absolutely could. This is the game that I was watching most intently because I really felt like Arkansas had a shot in Fayetteville to pull this off. Listen to these numbers: 19 for 32, 256, 3. And no picks for Taylor Green. 12 for 85 and 2 touchdowns on the ground for Taylor Green. Man was on a mission.
He's a dog.
Marcel Reed completed 4 more passes on the same 32 attempts, but for 280 yards and 3 touchdowns. He only had 6 for 55 and 1 on the ground, but still he did his thing. This was a slugfest. And one of the most explicable things I have ever seen in the history of my life watching college football is Arkansas had the ball with about a minute and 45 left, down by 8, and they proceeded to drive all the way down the field and never used their timeouts until they called a timeout with – oh, wait, did they call – oh, no, Texas A&M called that timeout. Arkansas never called a timeout. Arkansas went all the way down the field and – oh, no, I'm sorry. I take that back. My apologies. They did. I missed it. They called their first timeout with 13 seconds left in the game.
Oh, now we need
the ball. With the ball. Okay, now, so listen to this. You're down by 8, okay? There are 4 minutes left. Taylor Green pass. Taylor Green incomplete. 1 yard rush. 49-yard rush. A sack. 2-minute warning. Pass to Rohan Jones, 18 yards. A sack for 18-yard loss. A false start. A runoff because Texas A&M allowed to take the runoff on that false start because the clock was running because they never called a timeout.
When you had them. Timeout.
4 minutes left. 4 minutes left. They never called a timeout until 13 seconds left with the ball, and they still hadn't scored their first score yet. Like, it's too late at that point. The chance to save 75 seconds has already passed.
That's so crazy.
And that's Bobby Petrino on the sidelines. I expected better, but maybe they will be looking for another coach. Anyway, Texas A&M survives and moves on. But I will say this. Like, I think we might be live coming up this weekend. We'll see.
Y'all better be.
This is like knuckle down. And look,
I was gonna say,
for all the stuff that we talked about LSU and the bad play calling on offense, which I still stand by, but the defense was very hampered. We're missing, so Gabriel Relaford, one of our starting defensive ends, is out for the year, has been out for like 3 or 4 weeks, but he was out for the year, 2-3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. We also lost one of our backup defensive ends, Jamari Butler, before this game to an ankle injury. We lost Bernard Gooden, our starting defensive tackle, or one of our 2 starting defensive tackles, to a bruised collarbone before this game. We also lost Whit Weeks to an ankle bone bruise before this game. So, you were definitely not at 100% when you have, an All-American middle linebacker out when you're trying to chase around Diego Pavia. But if those guys are not healthy when A&M comes to town, it's not going to get any easier. So better hope that those guys are healthy because that's the only chance LSU has. Alabama welcomed the Volunteers into Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
And this game –
lackluster.
Yeah, but it was right before half. It had a chance to be luster.
So that's exactly what I was going to say. It was a really tight game. You had the safety early.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, honestly, Chad, once Aguilar threw that pick as they were driving down to end the first half, a pick 6, mind you, to make it 23-7.
Pick 6 in your own end zone, or in your opponent's end zone. You were about to score,
like almost a 100-yard pick 6.
It's like a 10-point minimum turnaround.
You're like, okay, maybe we get a field goal and we're only down, 16-10. But no,
absolute backbreaker.
23-7, and they, in my opinion, it just never came back. That's the long and the short of that game. And Ty Simpson is like a Heisman front runner now, and I believe rightfully so. Kid executes when called upon. He had 253, 2 touchdowns, no picks. And yeah, dude, they're just plugging along. I think DeBoer has them exactly where he needs them to be. The black hoodie lives on. I'm pretty sure I wore that last night. And yeah, there's not much else to say about this game. And you give up a back-breaking play like that to Alabama in Tuscaloosa, it's hard to come back.
Yeah,
it's truly what
that black hoodie ain't going nowhere until
it's becoming I think he's even. I don't think he's he pretty much acknowledged that it's a thing, and he's just keeping it rolling, bro. Yeah, that's kind of it. And then, oh my God, let me tell you something. Is Hugh Freeze going to fire or he's going to quit first? That's like, he's going to straight up quit. Because
Bro, I've never seen a team come this close to winning 3 games in a row and like completely blow it. And then Eli Drinkwitz like running onto the field doing this while they're missing a field goal was hilarious. I was like, oh, they're definitely losing now, but they didn't. They still found a way.
Yeah, of course. Even after that, like dude, it just to Auburn literally left 6 points on the board and then missed the field goal in overtime, dude. Like they had a lead and they like it just. Oh my God, dude! Both quarterbacks combined for 0 touchdowns and 3 picks. And just Jackson Arnold, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Vila had that rushing touchdown to ice it, though.
Well, it's true, but I'm talking no passing touchdown, I should say. And Arnold made some great throws in this game, and some equally just bad throws. Like it's just inexplicable, and they have so much talent on that team. And like that's what I mean. They have the money put into the program. That's what I mean. Is Hugh Freeze going to quit or be fired? Yeah, we have yet to find out at this point.
Yeah, no, but bro, it's about to get crazy, and like I don't know what to expect in this day and age now with the NIL stuff and all the money and everything else, and I just don't know. Like, are we going to have 15 coaching vacancies by the end of November? Or are we going to only have like what we have right now?
The biggest coaching carousel I can remember.
It's going to be massive. It's going to be incredible. Yeah, for sure.
Dude. For sure. So shout out to Mizzou.
Once one of these high-profile programs pulls one of these other guys away, then there's a whole ripple effect of that because that guy's gone and he's got to be replaced.
Coordinators go in different places.
Yeah.
It's going to be a crazy, dude.
Shout
out to Mizzou for getting it done, I guess, even though like Auburn just like shot themselves in the foot continuously.
And Missouri is another one that they're still alive to go to Atlanta, like
despite almost losing this game on multiple accounts.
Yep.
Woo! So that's it.
I told you don't survive the swamp easily, and Mississippi State did everything they could.
They did everything except they should have. They literally had the chip shot field goal in play.
And they just throw a pick to a 900-pound defensive lineman.
You gotta love a big boy with the football, though. He's like, oh my God, I got it.
Shout out to Mekhi Burrow, though. Yeah. And it's Burrow spelled like I wish they would have spelled Joe Burrow's name when they did the Cajunizing of his name.
Yeah.
This guy's name is spelled Boireau.
Hey, wow.
Pronounced Burrow.
Love it.
Like, you got to love that. That is
Burrow.
some ass shit right there.
That really is. I love it. But, hey, and Billy Napier is still unemployed, like we said.
Yeah, Billy Napier loses his job despite them winning this game, just like you told him.
I'm telling you, there was hugs. Week. There was hugs even after they iced the game. There was clear player. Like I saw him hugging some of his players, and it was like an extra long embrace. Like, it is the last time we're gonna be on the field together.
Yeah.
Type of vibe, you know what I mean? It's like when the player retires and it's the last game and he walks off. Very much the same thing. Like it was just, you could tell it was done for them.
Right, for sure. So I told everybody Southern Cal, USC was live in South Bend. They were live indeed in South Bend. This game was actually, this score does not depict how nip and tuck this game was. I keep wanting to say South Carolina. Southern Cal, the Trojans, USC, that team from LA, they took the lead late in the third quarter, 24-21, and then Jadarian Price took the very next kickoff 100 yards to the house. And it was like, and I soon, like no sooner than I texted, like, USC is indeed live into our group chat. As soon as I hit send, it was like, poof, they are dead now. And that was pretty much it. He did that, and Notre Dame ran the ball for 306 total.
Jeremiah Love, 228.
24 for 228 in a tud. 5 for 37 receiving as well. And Jadarian Price, he had another 85 yards rushing.
He's good, man. That's a good tandem.
Good combo. They are doing what Nick Singleton and Katron Allen were.
Yeah.
Let's bygones be bygones. But so about the other Big Ten teams. So like Michigan playing without Justice Haynes don't matter. I was told Washington was good. Washington comes over there, gets dominated in Ann Arbor, and now Michigan is creeping their way back into the top 25. Bryce Underwood, did his thing. He was all right. Nothing spectacular, but completed 70% of his passes, about 220, 230 yards, got a touchdown in there, didn't run the ball much. I've never really looked at him as that true dual threat where he's going to do the Taylor Green, Marcel Reed, Diego Pavia, John Mateer, run for 100 yards and also throw for 300. But what he's going to do is he's going to use his legs to prolong plays and try to make things happen downfield. And at the very least, avoid a sack and then throw the ball away so that you get to live another down. Michigan just straight up dominated this game. And Washington hardly did anything offensively.
Throwing for 220s, Michigan quarterback might as well be throwing for 350. Let's be for real.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You might as well be if they let you throw the ball that much and throw for 220. Right. More power to you, my friend.
Right.
So hey, yeah, like we said, we were glad to believe that Washington might be good, and who even knows in the Big Ten at this point, bro? Let's be real.
But yeah, we were talking about Damon Williams, and he was okay, 20 of 32, 209, but it was just nothing really else. And he's really a really good threat with his legs. He only got sacked once. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He got sacked twice for 24 yards. He had 3 other carries for a total of 5 yards. So he was completely bottled up by this Michigan defense. And, they tried to do their thing throwing the ball, but, when you only muster 250 yards of total offense, it's going to be hard to win, and especially on the road. And that's what did him in. You're muted.
There it is. Yeah, like I said, it is what it is, man, and we'll just have to see how the rest of it shakes out.
For sure.
But let me tell you something. Out in the desert, sometimes you see a little bit of grit, my friend. Sometimes a little bit of grit, and they shout out to Arizona State getting it done. I guess anybody truly can beat anybody. I said Texas Tech, without Baron Morton, obviously. But even then, they still were down 19-7, and all of a sudden they have the lead late. But ASU didn't get rattled, and that's the biggest thing for me is you have a lead and then it evaporates out of nowhere, and then you still scored and ice the game, which is awesome. Jordan Tyson, 105 receiving yards, a touchdown. Their other receiver, Jaron Hamilton, three catches, 101 yards, is also nuts, by the way.
Yeah.
Sam Levitt, 20-47, 319, and a touchdown. Shout out to Arizona State getting it done.
Makes you wonder if they had Jordan Tyson going into the playoffs last year.
Right, bro. Oh my God, dude.
What they could have possibly done, because they definitely beat Texas, and then who knows after that.
For sure. You have Cam Scattaboo playing 6 positions, bro, in that game. Absolutely. So shout out to Arizona State. And now the Big 12. I still think that Texas Tech, with Baron Morton healthy, and they still were in this game. They still fought their way back in. They just, didn't have the ball. I lied. Arizona State iced the game. They forced a 4th and 8, drop by Texas Tech. But yeah, shout out to Arizona State.
But Arizona State, so that 5-2 record, that includes the loss to Mississippi State. So in terms of Big 12 standings, Arizona State actually has the tiebreaker over Texas Tech,
which
is comes down to that to get to the title game, because there are undefeated teams in the Big 12 that still have a chance to get to the title game ahead of them. And one of those is BYU. After my man Bear Bachmeier gets it done. Gotta love a quarterback wearing number 47.
That's nuts.
Running the ball for 22 yards. And if you watched that, it was like a Cam Scattaboo run. It was just it looked like one of those Josh Allen in the snow quarterback runs where he's just bouncing off of people and then runs with 4 people on his back for the last 10 yards. And you're just like, how is he not down yet? He scored? No way. You think he's bottled up at the 8, and then next thing you know, he's falling into the end zone with 3 dudes on his back. Utah came back, got a score, kicked an onside kick, got the onside kick recovery, but it hit off of one of their dudes' legs on the way. And so it was, immediately they saw it, called it dead, and gave the ball to BYU. But shout out to BYU for getting the job done at home in the Holy War. They figured it out and got the job done.
Yeah, man. I honestly, I don't know what happened to me. I was just so tired. I did not get to watch any of this game. But shout out to a quarterback wearing number 47. That is the fact that BYU is just casually winning, like having back these always. They're just putting together good season after good season after good season out there in Utah, man. So shout out to BYU. Take care of business.
Again, though, I would say, like, no disrespect to their 7-0 record, and shout out to them for that. But play Florida's schedule, Big Daddy. Play Oklahoma's schedule.
This is always the South End zone.
Let's see if you're still 7-0 after playing that gauntlet. But it is what it is. They got it done, and they are where they are, and so we'll see. They get to keep fighting for what they're fighting for. Somebody who doesn't seem like they want to fight for anything.
Bro, they had a chance. They had a chance. They had a lead, and then it went away. They came to play at least. Like they looked like they were up for this game. You know, they were even up 21-10 at one point. That lead evaporated. They also had a sick blocked field goal for a touchdown in true Penn State night game fashion. I can still remember their blocked field goal against Ohio State all those years ago. And I just want to give James Franklin. I know he's not the coach anymore, but give him a lot of credit for going on College game day and just taking it all on the chin and just like acknowledging the reality of the situation publicly. Because I don't know how many coaches really have ever done that, even if there's a press conference involved. But for Franklin to sit on that set on national TV and just hash it out, like I give him a lot of credit. And it sounds like he's throwing his hat back in there to get picked up. And it looks like the odds on a lot of people are spelling out Virginia Tech or Arkansas. I think Virginia Tech would be a great landing spot for him because you talk about taking a program that was once great and now they're not and try to make them good again. That's kind of his wheelhouse right there, my friend.
I think his path though is wait and see, let the dust settle, and let the bidding war begin, because I think when you see, Florida's got an opening now. If Florida goes after Lane Kiffin, then Ole Miss could have an opening.
People keep saying that. What is that? Why is that the case? Is he mentioned being the one to be the Florida coach?
No, not necessarily, but
I hear that frequently.
He coached at Florida Atlantic, and I think he enjoyed his time. Like, I think it's more of a Florida thing. Like, do you want to be in Oxford, Mississippi, or would you rather be like an hour from Jacksonville on the coast?
This is fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
this is true.
One of those places is a retirement home.
Yeah.
The other one is a place that you go to like toil away while you hope to get to retirement. So it's an attractive spot. Now, I'm not saying that that's a guarantee that he ends up there, but it's very it's definitely going to be high on the radar. But regardless, Florida's going to have an opening.
They will have an opening.
You're going to have other openings continue to come up. I don't think he's going to be like I want to go to Oklahoma State. No, I think that
they'll all get the. I'll be curious to see how his coaching carousel lands. But yeah, Penn State just did. I mean, they leaned on the run game heavily last night, and it just wasn't enough. When it all came down to it, Grunkemeyer threw a pick, and it just. Which is crazy too, right? Like, beginning of the season, Penn State is now sub 500, which is insane how far they've fallen so fast.
Yeah.
So,
you go back to like they are playing in overtime to beat Oregon, to knock off Oregon, and to be possibly like number 1, number 2 in the country. They might have been number 1 in the country if they had pulled that off.
Yeah, bro.
And instead, now they are 3-4, and the writing's on the wall. But I will say this: they get a bye week, and then they get back-to-back at Ohio State in the shoe, and then Indiana comes to Happy. What?
No, that's just rough.
Oh, well, yeah, but anyway, Indiana comes to Happy Valley 2 weeks after that, November 8th. And that's a huge weekend. That's like LSU Alabama weekend. There's a bunch of other big matchups that weekend. I think you guys have can't remember. Is that
If it's in 2 weeks, it's Florida.
Florida? Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Maybe not as big as it would have been if things had gone.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Florida. But no, like I'm still waiting for Penn State, for those guys to like reach down and grab them and say, we are not going out like this, and to find a way to pull off one of those two upsets.
You can't go out all the way sad, man. You have to go down swinging.
Because if they don't pull off one of those upsets, the remainder of their schedule is Michigan State, Nebraska, Rutgers, and they should win all those games. But like they could go out sad, very sad. Like, could you imagine they go like 3-11?
Oh,
or not 3-11, 3-9 or whatever.
Yeah, right.
3-8, 3-9. Yeah. But you go win one of those games against Ohio State or Indiana because you find a way.
Be the spoiler.
Then you get a chance to be a spoiler, number one. And also, then you just need to win, those 2 or 3 of those last 3 games, and you're bowl eligible, and you still have, and you're in a decent bowl because you're 7-4 or whatever it is, 7-5. But to be 3-4.
Play the villain, Penn State. It's almost Halloween. Play the villain.
That's right.
That's what you got to do, ladies and gentlemen.
That's all you got to do.
Hey, listen, I'm glad we have a bye week coming up. You all got Texas A&M coming up. We got a big week of college football yet again, as I say every week, because every week is a big week in college football. We appreciate everybody for stopping by. This has been the South End Zone for me and for Chad. Once again, we appreciate everybody. Like, share, comment, subscribe. We appreciate y'all. Have a great weekend. We out.
Ladies and gentlemen. Our intent was to eat. Our intent was to come eat and be hungry.
We're taking receipts, and we'll see you at the national championship.